does that sound? Oh, it's a new email in your inbox, and holy cow, it's from a giant brand wanting to pay you to talk about them. I mean, that's the dream, right? But wait a minute, they misspelled a bunch of words and they called you the wrong name and they're asking for your bank account information? That's totally normal, right? I'm here today to tell you that no, that's not normal. So let's talk all about brand deal scams and how you can avoid them. Red flag number 1, misspellings and grammar. This is one of the easiest things to catch. Any legitimate brand or advertising agency that reaches out offering a brand deal is going to, at the very least, spell the name of the brand correctly. If you receive an email that's riddled with spelling errors, alarm bells should sound in your head.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Subject line, Athleta Clothing Company. Good evening. I represent the company Athleta. The company acquired the sportswear brand Athleta in 2009. The premium brand of children's clothing Janie and Jack expanded the portfolio of Gap in March 2019. First of all, that's a very strange sentence, right? Janie and Jack is a children's brand. Yes, they're both owned by Gap, and Athleta is also owned by Gap, but why would they even throw in Janie and Jack? It doesn't make sense. Models of this brand are distinguished by a comfortable cut, a feminine silhouette, and interesting colors. The person who received this email was a man, so a feminine silhouette is just a strange thing to say in here. Also worth noting that Athleta clothing is from elastic and breathable materials which ensure maximum comfort during sports. Okay, seems strange. It is generally accepted that sportswear should be comfortable and functional, and you can for about appearance. Something is strange here. Right off the bat, your alarms should be going off in your head. Just the way in which they're composing sentences doesn't seem right. Okay, so red flag number 2 is that the email does not contain the name of the person emailing you. You know, they will address you by your name, but when they sign off their email, they'll just say, oh, brand team or marketing department. That simply will not happen. Brands or agencies will always identify themselves. So this is supposedly from Blizzard Entertainment. They talk about the Overwatch 2 video game, and then in the third paragraph, they say Blizzard team is interested in your channel due to the specifics of its content. We are ready to discuss publishing a series of Blizzard commercials on your social networks. Best regard, Blizzard Entertainment. That's simply not going to happen. They are going to identify themselves. Red flag number 3 is incorrect email domain. This one can actually be pretty tricky. Sometimes the scammers will purchase domain names that are very similar to the actual websites that the brand uses. So check this one out, supposedly from Zara. The domain says contact@inditex-promo.com. It's a little confusing because Inditex is actually the parent company of Zara. But when you actually go to Inditex-promo, which is the URL that they're linking in there, this doesn't link to a website. A big brand like Zara is not going to use a domain like Inditex-promo. And here we go again. We see that they're not listing their name. They're just saying Sincerely Inditex Group. That's a red flag. Supposedly from Nike. Look at the email address, no reply at Nike.com. So it seems like it's from Nike.com, but the really critical thing to look here is it says via WP.pl. What is that? Go and look at WP.pl. This is a Polish website where you can get email addresses and domains. So the other thing to notice here is look down here. Please contact our manager by email, manager-nike@digital-agency.live. Does that seem legitimate? That does not seem legitimate. Okay, red flag number 4 is confusing contact information. Another thing that I look for is whether the person reaching out offers multiple ways to get in touch with them, like a phone number or an address of the business, or maybe a link to their social handles. They're not going to always have this, but if they do, that's a good sign. This one is allegedly from Filmora, which is a video editing software. There's a couple things to notice here. The email address, alexandra@filmora-x.com. That seems like a strange URL. Let's go to that URL. Oh, it says 403 forbidden. And when in fact, the actual domain of Wondershare is filmora.wondershare.com. That's the first red flag. Another thing to notice, if you go down here and look at the address, so they actually have an address here. Let's Google that address. Oh, what comes up when we Google that address? Magics? That seems like another editing software from a different company. So they probably are trying to scam multiple different companies here, not just Filmora, because they probably were doing multiple scams and forgot to swap out the address on the bottom of the email here. So very suspicious. Here's another one from DaVinci Resolve. Look at this address: Business Avenue, number 22 Street, Business City, USA 219324. I literally could not make up a more fake address even if I tried. Like, Business Avenue, Business City, USA, 6 numbers in the zip code. Come on now. Red flag number 5 is that something just doesn't seem right. You know that feeling in your gut sometimes that you just can't seem to place? You know, you can't quite put your finger on it, but it just feels too good to be true. Do not ignore that. That is your last line of defense against brand deal scams. Is it normal that ASUS is asking me to download this zip file to review the contract? And I said, no, it is not normal, especially if they're sending you to a site called Anon Files. And just for fun, let's go through some really tricky ones that even gave me pause. Okay, this one kind of looks legit, right? I mean, look at the image. They're adding images to it now, but upon closer inspection, check out the email address, pr@capture1.ug. What is .ug? That is a Ugandan domain, and that domain does not exist. In fact, the URL for Capture One is capture1.com. So this one's tricky, and check out here at the bottom. This email has been sent to you. Click here to unsubscribe. There's no link to click here to unsubscribe, which is another very suspicious thing. And this one is actually very confusing. Take a look at the email address here, partners@targetpartnerships.com. That seems like a very weird URL. Let me actually go to it. Oh, targetpartnerships.com cannot be reached. That's a red flag for me. However, Target does have a partner program. And if you go to partners.target.com, this is a real thing. And if you go to the FAQ here, scroll to the bottom of the page, it says, still got questions, drop a mail to partners@targetpartnerships.com, which is the same email address. So very, very strange, very suspicious. However, what I would essentially advise to do in this situation is apply directly from this website rather than this email, on the off chance that this is a scam. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what is the point of these brand deal scams? Well, it could be a number of things. One of the most obvious is hacking you and taking over your social media profiles, which they can turn around and resell to other hackers or try to trick your followers by posting scams on your accounts. Another reason can be to scam you out of money. I've heard of creators where the brand has said, you know, you have to buy the product from us first to make the content, and then we'll refund you the money plus more once you post everything. You know, all legitimate brands will not make you pay for the products that you're going to promote.
Pleasure doing business with you. Anytime, chum.
If that ever happens to you, run the other direction. And one more reason is that they're trying to steal your identity. People will post pictures in front of their house or post pictures of packages with their home address showing. You know, they'll have the email address that they use to log into all of their sensitive sites like their bank and so on as their primary email in their contact section or their bio. All a scammer needs to do is get a few more pieces of information from you and they can impersonate you and wreak havoc on your life. The moral of the story is that as you grow on social media, it's inevitable that people are going to try and scam you. So it's up to you to use your best judgment. And if something seems off, walk the other way. So what other types of brand deal scams have you seen? Let me know in the comments, and then hit subscribe and click that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when my next video comes out. And one more thing, do you want intel on new legitimate brand deal campaigns? Every week I send out sponsorship opportunities exclusively to creators on my email list. So make sure to join using the link below.